Please focus your attention on the starter as he's ready to flag off the teams. Hamid, over to you.
Yes, all 5 teams are off to a blistering pace as they have the commander have already completed their appreciation of situation, and right now just asking all his team members to stabilize the vehicle. Well, what is happening over at lane 1?
Lane 1, we have the contestants from the Western Australia. What they're doing is they're stabilizing the vehicle and using, what is it called, Renche? What's that thing over there?
Well, it's a choke. So what they do with it is to stabilize the vehicle, because this is the most important. In fact, this is the first step towards a road traffic accident management system.
All right. Okay, after stabilizing the vehicle, okay, they are supposed to extricate the casualty out of the vehicle. Okay, what is the device that they're using right there?
Precisely. So that is actually a spreader cutter.
All right.
The purpose of the spreader cutter is actually to make an incision in order to spread open the door so that the paramedics or the emergency medical technicians can enter the car to treat the casualty. Now, as you can see on the screen here, they do actually try to use a saw to saw open the windscreen of the car to be able to gain access towards the casualty.
All right, what's happening over there at lane number 3?
Well, over there in lane 3, it looks like they are using the reciprocating saw to cut open the front glass, the windshield screen. Looks like they're almost done, and we have 1 paramedic inside. Well, Hamid, maybe you can tell us more about what's happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering what are the 5 teams doing right now at this moment of time, they have to do a full roof removal of the car or the wreckage that are given to them. So they need to do a full roof removal and, of course, to extricate the casualties safely.
Yes, that's right. And also not to compromise the safety of the rescuers. This is very, very important. That's why they're using the personal protective equipment that they have with them, the helmet and also the gloves and also the goggles. Is that right, Rentia?
Definitely. Now, as you can see, that our rescuers have put on their personal protective equipment. The same goes for our casualty. Our casualty management is very important, and this has a very strong criteria for the marking scheme for this entire competition. So what do I see on the screen here is that the team leader and the EMT, which is the emergency medical technician, they are trying to crawl into the car to actually stabilize the casualty using a cervical collar.
Yes. Renche, you yourself, you were a paramedic and now you're a fire rescue specialist.
Yes.
Okay, what aspect or what do you think is the most important in best of both worlds? What do you think?
Well, I tell you, everything works together as one united team. And the team leader needs to decide what to do to evacuate the casualty fast to the hospital, while at the same time making sure that the casualty has been stabilized totally. So we have this thing called a golden hour. Do you know what's this thing called golden hour?
No, I don't know what's golden hour. Please share with us.
Well, the golden hour is actually from the time the accident happens until the patient reaches the operating theatre.
Thank you for all that information. Now, as you can see on screen here at Lane 5, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Ministry of Interior, Thailand, they are actually working hard to cut open all 3 posts, or all 6 posts in fact, to remove the roof. Let's not forget, the requirement for today is to remove all the roof, the entirety of the roof, and extricate the casualties safely. As you can see on screen as well, in lane 1, Chicken.
Okay, over at lane 1, we have the Department of Fire and Emergency Services from Western Australia. All of them is actually trying to remove the roof of the car. This must be done vigilantly, and also communication is the key. Without communication from the team leader, I'm sure there will be such a lot of hazards, don't you think? Because I saw just now there's a lot of oil spillage, there's fire in front there with the mixed reality. What do you think, Tasnim? Personally, what do you think?
Well, I do believe that this is going to be a difficult task for everyone, but this is pretty much our bread and butter for all firefighters and paramedics, as this is a requirement. In any country, there will be a chance of a road traffic accident, right, Hamid?
Yes, that's indeed. Tasnim, I see that our paramedics or the EMT that is trying to stabilize the casualty inside the wreckage is using a green color equipment. What's that?
Well, that is the Kendrick extrication device that is meant to be used on the casualty who has suffered a spinal injury. So somebody has injured their spine. We're trying to secure that to make sure to prevent them from injuring themselves further.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see right now on the screen, we have from Lane 1, the Department of Fire and Emergency Services Western Australia. If you can see, all the 5 different teams from the 5 different countries are using different techniques. Some are using the clamping, pinching techniques, and looks like the first team from right now, Lane 3 from Singapore Civil Defence Force have completely removed the roof of their wreckage, and right now they'll move on to the next part of their challenge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while the rescuers are doing this, most of the time all the teams, what they do is they follow the acronym RESCUE, R-E-S-C-U-E. R is to recce, E is to extinguish, S is to stabilize, C is to cut, U is to untrap, and E is to extricate. And looks like the team from Singapore Civil Defence Force is right now in preparation in extricating the casualty.
Yes, that's right. And looks neck and neck with them is on Lane 1, the Department of Fire and Emergency Services Western Australia. They're almost getting the roof up, and also I see this is a spinal board. Okay, there's a spinal board actually inserted from the back of the car. What's a spinal board, Renche? Can you tell us more?
Well, this spinal board is medical equipment to place the casualty on top of it so that we can actually attach our head immobilizers and all rescue equipments onto the board and get the patient into the hospital, into the ambulance itself. Now, this board is a very versatile board that can be used for water rescue, height rescue, and even the all complex rescues.
Right, it's look like it's neck and neck between Lane 1 and Lane 3. Everybody give them a big round of applause. Motivate them, come
Well,
on.
Lane 1, it seems that our Department of Fire and Emergency Services Western Australia have also removed the roof of the car.
The roof of the car, Renche.
Yes.
Well,
And-
ladies and gentlemen, looks like our team from the Singapore Civil Defence Force over at Lane 3 has safely extricated out their casualty.
Wow, it's really, really tough, this competition.
But we'd like to remind everyone actually that speed is just one part of the component, and the first team that removes the casualty from the car does not necessarily win this competition.
That's right.
Yes, that is very true, because we have our man that is wearing all those blue vests, the umpires. They are looking closely with their eagle eyes, making sure that every aspect of the competition rules and regulation are being adhered to, but most importantly, safety.
That's right. It looks like on Lane 2, the Fire and Rescue Department of Malaysia, BOMBA, removed the roof of the car. Come on, give them a big round of applause.
Well, Tasnim, what's happening at Lane 4 and 5?
Well, in Lane 4 and 5, the teams from the Pasig City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office and the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Ministry of Interior, Thailand, they are working together to remove the roof of the car. Well, this is not an easy task, which is why they were given 5 minutes to actually test all their equipment. This is very important. This is really essential for all firefighters to be done every single day.
Precisely, Tasnim. I'm telling you that despite how much efforts they have done in terms of planning and looking at the mixed reality, road traffic accident is always very dynamic, and
That's
a team
true.
leader must always make changes to his action plan and inform the entire team of the updated plan. So is that happening at the lane actually now? Because I see them communicating a bit and changing their techniques slightly.
It looks that way because, as you can see on screen right now, our team from Lane 2, the Fire and Rescue Department of Malaysia, or BOMBA, are communicating and coordinating their casualty extrication. Looks like it's, it looks like they're doing a lot of communication there. It's not an easy task to remove from the top out. Am I right, Hamid?
Yes, indeed. And just like how this competition arena is all about, there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise that is interfering with the commands that are given by the commanders, by the team leaders. Just like how in any road traffic accidents could happen. No, there are still cars passing by, or everything.
Exactly. It's exactly as what Renche and Hamid has said. It's not one simple task. It's never one standardized way. There's always many, many different ways to get through and approach this incident.
All right, can we hear from Hall 2? Give them some motivation. Come on, cheer them on. Come on, man, you guys can do better than this. Come on, let's cheer for our friends. Come on.
Well,
Well,
looks
guys.
like we have from Lane 2,
Well, lane 2, our Fire and Rescue Department of Malaysia, BOMBA, they have evacuated or extricated the casualty onto the spinal board. Now, it may seem that it's a very easy task to put the casualty on the spinal board, but it's actually not, because they have to perform an entire sequence called the patient assessment model. And our umpires, do you know actually that our umpires comprise of emergency physicians who are accessing them? So this is very stressful for them because they will be accessed in totality for the patient assessment model.
And looks like they are going to the finish line. Fire Rescue Department of Malaysia, give them a big round of applause.
Well done indeed.
Well,
Now-
ladies and gentlemen, we still have two teams. They are still in action right now at lane 4 and lane 5. We have the teams from Philippines and also Thailand. Right now, they are still neck and neck trying to do the full roof removal for both wreckage.
Well, we can see on screen right now the team from Lane 5, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Ministry of Interior, Thailand. They are working with, I believe that is the cutter, so, the hydraulic cutter to cut open the vehicle. Again, all the equipment that you see here, ladies and gentlemen, being used at the Rip It Off Challenge is exactly the same thing that all rescuers, even in Singapore, that we all use, and we have to check every day.
Yes, indeed. And if you have already visited the Home Team Fest, where we have our new palm ladders that are on display, you will be able to see the same equipment that are in our palm ladders that are right now on display over at hall number 3. By the way, Renche, just now you talk about the golden hour.
Yes.
What is it all about again?
Well, the golden hour is actually 1 hour. It's a golden thing called 1 hour. And what does this mean is from the time the accident happens until the patient gets to the operating theatre.
Our responders and rescuers need to work hand in hand to ensure that everything is done swiftly and accurately. Tasnim.
Well, it looks like over here in Lane 5, our team from the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Ministry of Interior, Thailand, have almost done. They're almost done with removing the rooftop. It should be done soon. Now, again, this is no easy task. This is not as simple as these rescuers make it out to see. Now, if I may ask you, you are the Deputy Rota Commander for Bishan Fire Station.
Yes,
so basically, that means you're a second in command. So when responding for road traffic accidents, what are the principal considerations that you may have when it comes to assessment or how to break open the car?
Yes, obviously, as what our audience have seen during the mixed reality segment, in the first segment of the Repeat Off Challenge, you need to look out for all the different obstacles that you might have to face, such as there could be a fire that's happening or even any oil spillages.
That's right, and on a daily basis, the paramedics and the firefighters actually work together to communicate and extricate the patient out. It looks like in Lane 5, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, Ministry of Interior, Thailand has removed the roof, and they are neck and neck with the Pasig City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office.
Yeah, they are the team from Philippines.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like in Lane 5, they are coordinating just the last few bits to make sure that the roof actually removes easily and safely. As you can see, there's one paramedic that's inside the car at all times to make sure that nothing happens to the casualty.
Tasnim, I would just like to check, as you have mentioned that there's always one person that is taking care of the casualty. How
That's right.
important is that part?
Well, as you know that in this kind of road traffic accidents, that can only mean that the situation is very dire and the person is probably suffering from some kind of life-threatening injury. So what we have to ensure is to confirm that the casualty does not suffer any more further spinal injury, because any form of aggravation or sudden movements may make the situation
Well,
much
seems like
more worse.
Lane 4, they are ready to extricate the casualty out of the car. So let's give them a round of applause and cheer them on.
That's right. And in Lane 5, it looks like they have successfully removed the roof from the car, and all that's left now is the coordination to remove the casualty out of the car and onto the finish line. It looks really neck and neck with Jay. It looks like it's very, very close by.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the most important tip now is not to give up. The same goes for any rescue incident. No
That's
matter
right.
how complex it is, do not give up. be cool-headed, and re-strategize again.
That's right. That's very, very true. Shikin,
Yes.
have you gone for such cases in Singapore? And could you talk about more about your factors?
Yes, okay, I have personally, and also I would say it's not an easy task, okay? It's not an easy task, and a lot of communication. You have to work with a lot of home team agency like the police, the TP, and a lot more. All right, looks like on lane 5, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Ministry of Interior Thailand is neck and neck, okay, to remove the casualty, and they already have the casualty on the board.
That's right. They're almost done. It's all that's left is just to strap up the casualty safely to maneuver out of the car. Just a little bit
Precisely.
more. Lane 4, it looks like they are working together to remove the casualty as well. Well, they're almost done there. Yes, that's right. It looks like they are putting in a thing. And in lane 5, there we go. Congratulations, lane 5,
Give
for
them a big
completing
round
that
of
task.
applause. Let's give up for our Tasik City Disaster Reduction Management Office, our team from the Philippines. Give them a bit motivation. Come on, guys. Give them a big round of applause. They're not giving up. They're
Come
not
on, guys.
giving
Make
up.
some noise. Make some noise. It looks like they're getting a lot of encouragement from the rest of the teammates around the area. All they have to do now, it looks like Chicken, they're sliding up the casualty up.
Yeah, they're sliding the
That's right.
casualty up carefully. All right, carefully.
Yeah, we shouldn't, they shouldn't be aggravating anything because it's all safe thanks to the Kendrick extrication
Yes.
device and all. And it looks like they're almost done. All they have to do is just strap them up safely and they are safe.
And there they go.
Ready? Almost done. Come on.
Almost done. One more guy out of the car.
And
And
all
there
4
you
teammates
go.
are safely out of the car and on to the finish line.
give them
Round of applause for all the team members.
Well done, well done, well done. Back to you, Anchors.
That is the challenge for the Rip It Up. Thank you so much. Back to you, anchors.